Welcome to Coffee and an Interview. Today we're here with my wonderful guest, Ed, who is actually helping me learn how to set up the podcast using different software tools. And I realized that he has a lot of expertise that hopefully he'll share with us today as we sit here with that yummy smelling cup of coffee, actually. So let me turn it over to Ed. Ed, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm going to keep all my secrets to myself because I'm
All
a
of
weenie. Every single one of them, yeah.
Well, I'm hoping you'll share a few, maybe not the big secrets, but I'm hoping we can learn a few things from you, which I know I already have. I guess the first thing we should do is just get started with learning a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit, or tell us a little bit about yourself and your passions right now.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm a musician. I'm a drummer currently. I do a bit of DJing on the side. Aside from that, maybe a little podcast editing here and there. Probably do for this one. It's all good. But yeah, just that kind of thing. I spend a lot of time in the field, kind of getting a feel for the audio softwares, the techniques for recording, the whole setup and teardown maneuvers, all that fun stuff. It's tiring. It's okay though. It's fine.
But you say that with a smile, so I'm not too sure.
I like it. It's fun.
You recently did something very interesting, actually, which might not have anything to do with the software or the audio part, but I thought it was a wonderful experience. You had an interesting gig not too long ago.
That I did.
And I heard it's for a big name band.
That it was. They won't get mad at me because they don't know me. We were doing lights and tech and stage building for the Rolling Stones. Their recent concert. I think it was the end of their tour. Shit, which tour was that? I don't know. That's fine. It was a tour. It was the last one, so the teardown was pretty intense. But it was a good experience. I got to see Mick Jagger's butt from under the stage. That was fun.
Well, that's an interesting perspective.
Not what I was expecting to have.
And, we're talking about music and bands, and you talked about you yourself being a musician and a podcast editor and things of that sort. I want to know, what is your favorite thing out of this big pot of artistic things that you do? The editing, the creation of music, the actual playing on instruments, the working on concerts. What's your favorite?
Personally, I think my favorite thing is definitely the performing side, because I've been to a number of shows, either doing the crew work or just as a guest or as just somebody just going to see the show. I think the word is patron. The word is patron. Nailed it. But yeah, it's just an entirely different feeling when you're on stage performing. It's really, really scary at first, which I'm sure everyone gets the jitters. It gets a lot less scary when the house lights are off and the spotlights are on, because then you can't see anybody. The only downside we had was one time we did a show at the Seminole Theater down in Homestead.
Okay.
And the set starts with just drums, so it's just me, and the rest of the band is still off stage, and I'm the only one on stage. I'm like, don't look up. They'll see you. They're gonna see how scary. They're gonna see exactly how terrifying and how scared I look. But it was fun. It's really good. Because once you start playing, the time just goes. Like we'll start the set. We'll have maybe 30 to 45 minutes or something.
Wow.
And then we'll start the set and it'll just fly by. Like the set's done, and I'm like, oh, we played.
And so the whole time you have no idea who's in the audience.
I have no idea. No idea.
I always wonder about that in those lights.
I get surprised when we see them after the show, because a lot of the time we do get to, stand outside and mingle with everyone else before our set, at least up until there's maybe one or two bands before us, and then we have to go backstage and kind of get ready. But I love finding out who's at the show after, or the ones who will message me online or text me like, hey, that was a great show. I'm like, you were there? I didn't know. You should have said something. That kind of thing. I love that.
So how long have you been performing?
Ooh, that's a tricky one, because with the band, it's been about 7 years now.
Okay.
But I did a lot of drumline back in high school, so that's considered performing, I guess. But yeah, we did a lot of that. So I guess adding on the drumline years, that's 11 years now, and it's been loud the whole time.
Drums, I bet.
Drums and drumline. It's oh man. I started off as a cymbal player back in high school, and that was the loudest thing. Plus, we were all a lot darker in high school, like visually darker, just because we were outside all the time marching. So hot drums and hot cymbals.
Not the best mix.
No, not in South Florida. Definitely not in South Florida. But it toughens you up a lot.
And you started an interesting segue because you brought us back to your high school experience with drumline. Mm-hmm. And I'm wondering, how did you learn to play the drums? How were you inspired? And how did that experience with drumline in high school help you?
Well, when I was younger, the first thing I started doing was guitar, actually, which I have back in my room. Probably gathering way too much dust, admittedly. But I started with guitar just because I had a really big interest in music. The arts in general, I get that from my parents. But for drums, I remember very vividly back in high school, my freshman year, I was sitting down just watching the drumline practice, and their instructor, who was a good friend of mine to this day, he just goes, "Hey kid, you want to join drumline?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." And it's all downhill from it was amazing. It was such a great experience, and the rudiments and all the things I learned back in drumline still apply for my drumming now, even though now I have to use my legs more than drumline.
Not just walking in the drumline.
Now I actually do the opposite because now I just sit, and it's great.
Tell me a little bit about how you learned to work the software and really take your talent to the next level in terms of music. We were talking earlier before we started the recording about some experiences with certain individuals who taught you things, and maybe one who didn't like you at first, and you made sure that he liked you at some point.
Oh, I got him for sure.
And I thought it would be interesting for us to learn what those experiences were and what were the takeaways, especially for those of us in education.
Right. Well, I went to Miami-Dade College, which was an absolute delight. I can't complain. I can complain, but I can complain just because when I actually started in culinary back in Wolfson, and then I switched over to music when I realized that during my classes in the kitchens I would always get an extra pot or something and put my phone and play music during class. And my professor was telling me, or my chef professor Professor Schlossberg, he said, "You might be more suited to music." I'm like, "Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right." And I switched, and it was the best decision I've made for sure. When I switched over to music, I went into the theory side, which you have to, because that's the most important thing you have to learn. Even if it doesn't make sense, it still doesn't make sense. I'm still winging it. But that's okay. I don't have to know what a B-flat seventh is when I play drums.
Okay.
So we're good. But, it helps, learning structure, and especially my personal interest is the history. And then I made sure that I took classes for the recording side, all that stuff, all the setup, trying to learn the different softwares like Reaper or Audacity or Pro Tools. Pro Tools we used a lot. That's kind of the industry standard for that kind of thing. But I learned a lot of it from two specific professors. One of them being Dr. Rose. I believe his first name is Richard.
Richard, yeah.
Richard Rose, and then Professor Stephen Quincy, which hi Dr. Quincy, I seen you. He didn't like me very much at first, but I made sure to change that because I kept taking his classes over and over again.
It's like a stalker in the classroom almost.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, he we were at odds at first, and then I guess once he saw that I'm here to stay, I'm here to get the job done and really really buckle down and learn, then he kind of eased up on me a little bit. But it was a definitely can't forget that experience. That was Oh man, because the hours for music stuff, it's very very fluid, but it's at least it's not, it's not culinary hours. Because I remember having to do events. I think we did the book fair, the one at Wilson.
Oh yeah, I worked the book fair every year.
Oh man, we did the catering for that, and I remember leaving the house at 5 o'clock in the morning and coming home at 6 o'clock the next day, and I was just. I remember saying like, "Oh, I never want to do that again," and then I did it again last week for the Rolling Stones. Did the same thing. So.
Well, Miami Book Fair always has great food in the hospitality suite, so thank you for that.
You got to thank the professors on that one. It's weird because they were professors or are professors, but they would ask us to call them chef instead. So it would be Chef Eric for one of them, or Chef Angle. I remember I think we met Emerald in our first semester because he came by once to the kitchens up top by what was the restaurant called? What's the restaurant called?
Tuyo, the top floor.
Yeah, Tuyo. That's the one.
A floor restaurant.
Because he came by because we had to do some hours there, and I lost it because I had watched him on TV for years, and I saw him there. I'm like, wait a minute, he's a person.
Did you take a picture for your mom?
No. Oh. No, I don't think we were allowed to.
That's too bad. She would have loved that.
That would be crazy.
So it's interesting. You have this story about taking culinary courses and then realizing that you really should be in music, in a music program. Mm-hmm. What motivated you to go to culinary in the first place?
Well, I always loved cooking. That's something I would do a lot, especially with my dad. I remember we would do, actually we still do this. We'd love to make, for special occasions, we'll make a pepper steak and yellow rice. And I would always help my dad prep the food. And then we'd eat half the steak before we were ready to serve it. We're like, whoops.
I would do the same.
Because it was so good. And when I did that for years and years, and then I realized, like, this is something I kind of want to do. Granted, not as a professional, now I know. But it just became like a fun hobby to have, and that kind of great experiences. And yeah, now I can just do it on the side, which means whenever we get to go on tour with the band, I can just meal prep a ton of food, mm-hmm. and we'll be set.
And you'll be the most popular person on that tour bus.
It's good. Both myself and our lead guitarist Marcus, he also makes phenomenal food, so we get to cook together. That's always fun. The other boys, not as good as cooking. Not very good.
I think you're the first person who's really brought music and culinary arts together to make sense for a career path.
Yeah. Because I realized, and that's some of the things that I got out of my courses in college was, if I'm going to go, actually, I had one assignment where we had, I think it was from Dr. Rose, we had to plan out an entire tour. Like, budget it, all the logistics, how it would cost to, get a van, get a crew if you need it, like that whole thing, booking venues. So that was one that we had from him. Another one was to, which is one I'm actually hoping to do soon. We actually had to set up and plan an entire recording studio. So we had to look online for warehouses, the kind of rental space, and then try to figure out how to manage and set up the room and do all that stuff, get all the equipment. And then the kicker was, he said you had to keep it under 10 grand, and I kept it under 5.
Wow.
I'm like, we got this. Because you gotta learn some of the shorthand and some of the shortcuts, especially when you're in your 20s and money isn't easy.
Yep.
Ever.
And that hustler New York side of you came out in that project there, right? Trying to cut corners.
I needed that.
So I very interesting. You talk about your courses, and most people think, courses are boring in college. You just sit there and, write about things that relate to your career. But everything you've shared has been very practical and very useful if you are going to go into some type of music career. Can you tell me more about that? What was your experience? And do you agree that this was a much more practical perspective?
Oh, absolutely. I made sure because one of the things I did, before semesters when I'm kind of planning out what classes I want to take and that kind of thing, I looked what would, satisfy the credits that I need to take anyway, but also be, very relevant as to, what I would need to do. So some of the courses that I, that are taken normally are the ensemble ones, which nothing wrong with that. Those are fine. Which, it helps because you want to be able to, excuse me, you want to be able to, be able to play and work with other people, especially people you don't know, and then you're going to have to know them. But, yeah, you get a lot from that. But I made sure that I took the music business side, which was completely, it was just invaluable. You need to know that. Which I'm not sure how I managed to make this one work, because I took music business 1 and 3 in the same semester.
And skip 2.
I don't know how I made that work. I have no idea. It was weird because like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays I had music business 1, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays I had business 3. I was like, I don't know how I made this work. Actually, I know exactly how I made it work. I had 2 amazing professors. I had Dr. Kaye and Dr. Rose, and those gents, I call them gents. They're incredible. In fact, Dr. Rose, his because he has a Fender bass, I think it's a P bass or Peabody. His bass is identical to my bass tattoo. Like the setup is exactly the same, the pickups are the same, and I didn't know that until I saw him perform for his last lecture. And I saw him like, he's playing me. That's me.
Well, it sounds a little different when you say it that way, but
well,
I get what you're saying.
And then with Dr. Kaye, man, I love Dr. Kaye. It was funny because when I had his class, I was also the only other person whose name was Eduardo. And we both go by Ed. So we would just get coffee after class and hang out. And he actually, there was one day he had to cancel class. The one time he did, he said, "Oh, I can't make it. I'm having breakfast with Gloria Estefan." And I'm like, "What? How'd you do that? How did you do that?" He just knows her. And it's funny, I saw Gloria Estefan. I saw her one time in person at what was previously called the Sun Life Stadium. Now it's the Hard Rock Stadium, which is funny because I was just there last week for the Stones. So I walked in and I looked at her. I'm like, this seems really familiar. Oh, that's right. Gloria Estefan stepped on my foot here.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Well, now you have a story to share.
Yeah. I told him that story and he was cracking up. He told her that I mentioned that story and she's not going to remember, but he said to her, he's like, he very much remembers. So I've got that one under my belt.
And there you go. You got to work on the set for Rolling Stones, and you got stepped on by Gloria Estefan.
That's more than most people get in a lifetime, for sure. That was a big one.
What were some other tips, tricks, insights that you were able to pull from your courses to help you move forward as an artist now, as a musician? You talked a lot about your professors and some practical things that they gave you in class. What else did you get out of your experience that you feel has helped you be a better musician, at least from the business side, not just the music side? So both. Let's look at both, the music and the business.
Well, I think the biggest thing I got out of it was, aside from the practical skills, that's one thing, but being able to just manage time. That's the hardest thing, which, we all learn it in our first semester when you think, you just get out of high school and you say, oh, I'm used to getting up early for classes. I'll take an 8 a.m. class. And then it happens in college and you realize that was a terrible mistake and you should never do that.
Yeah.
Except all the music theory classes are at 8.
There's no choice.
You had to do it. Which I understand it, why it would be so early, because like that's a commitment and you need to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you can get call times for shows at any point. I've had gigs in the morning, midday, which are the best ones. And then evening, I've had one gig, I've had a couple at Churchill's in Little Haiti, where the show starts at 7 p.m., but we're not on until 2 a.m.
Wow, that's a church?
No, Churchill's is it's like a bar.
Oh, that church. Yes, I do
It's
know
the
that
best
one.
No, I love that venue. Hopefully we can play there again soon. We're trying to work that one out, but we've done that one a couple of times. It's a great venue. Thankfully. Another really, really great thing that I've gotten out of these classes is just, it's the people you meet, because when you're out working in the field, you're going to have to get connections one way or another, and you'll get it through these courses. Sometimes you'll get it just from word of mouth from your professor. So, I've worked, the soundboard at Miami-Dade is the biggest, most insane soundboard I've ever worked on in my life. Like, you can't, like, I'm a tall guy. I'm about 6'1", and full arm span, I can't reach from end to end on that thing. And that's like a $10 million soundboard
For students.
I can't believe they let us use that. But that came in handy so much, especially last year while I was in New York for a while, because I actually did a little work at Carnegie Hall. And they had the same soundboard, and there were a couple of interns that, we're all new people, so they not expect them to know how to do really anything. And I'm like, oh, actually, no, I've worked on this plenty of times. I know exactly what to do. So I got to, run the house board during some performances. And that's my favorite thing to put on resumes. I got to work in Carnegie Hall.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I get Carnegie Hall and the Stones. I'm good now. I'm okay now.
So those are 2 career highlights, but what I'm seeing is that you're going to have many, many more coming up.
Oh, I hope so. I hope so.
So tell us, what are you working on now? You had all this practical experience. You got a lot of lessons and mentorship in your college career. You have, again, that practical hands-on experience with a couple of different shows and stages. And you are working with your band, and you might be cooking for them on a tour bus at some point.
Probably. Probably.
Well, where are you going, and what's next for you?
Hopefully, we can keep booking shows. We're putting out music. We should have an album very soon. We put out a single recently as well. So, it's kind of garnering a little more attention, and I'm thankful that we're getting new fans and more support from every show, which is really, really helpful. Because just word of mouth is a godsend in this field for sure. I mean, it has to be, because it's music. So you can only describe it to people so well, they're gonna have to hear it. Which I hope they do. But aside from that, I'm doing work. I'm doing work with the band, and I'm also actually currently writing music for a video game that a friend's developing, which is really fun. That's a real challenge, because I've never had to do that.
That's a new experience.
Yeah, I'm used to, taking a long time, and we made, an album's worth of songs, and now I have to do like 30 tracks, and I don't know when it's going to be ready.
30?
More or less. It's just because we need to make all the different stages, all the different character music, all the sound effects. So like when a character talks, if we're not having voice acting, like the actual like little doot, 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 that kind of thing. So I have to make all those, which I'll probably do today also. But knowing me, I'm going to have to do it at 1 a.m. because that's the best time.
I see that there's no sleep in your future.
No, not really. No. I mean, I get to take advantage of that being in the mid-20s, which is weird because now I'm in my mid-20s. Huh.
I think you're starting to realize your
didn't think
true
about that.
age right now. I
didn't
see
think
that
about
facial expression.
I mean, I tell people I'm secretly 40, but it's just because I look tired all the time. That's fine.
I think that was one of the first things I said when I came in, huh?
I think so.
Oh my God. Well, that's the life of a musician. You're working hard and trying to move forward and really trying to do what you want to do with your talent and getting that out there for others to enjoy.
Doing the best I can with it.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at the end of the way I look at it is, hopefully the money will come down the line. That's fine. But as long as I'm still having fun doing it, that's what I'm trying to get out of it the most. Which I am so far. Seems all right.
Yeah, and you seem very happy doing it.
I seem very tired doing it. Yeah, no,
and
definitely.
we're back to that. That's why we have coffee during these sessions.
Is it true? Oh, I just finished mine. I'll get more later. That's fine.
It's good timing because you brought up a really nice point. You shared something now with our audience members, and I was thinking about lessons or tips, additional lessons or tips that you can share. One of them you just shared was about you love doing what you do as long as it's fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the money will come later. It's important to have fun in doing what you're doing with your life. What else could you give our audience members in terms of advice or tips?
Well, aside from taking whatever courses that you should really take in regards to this field, forums online are a godsend. They are a total godsend when you want to get anything. Like, oh, I don't know how to do this specific thing recording wise. Let's look on a forum. There's 95 billion other people who are saying, I also don't get it. Someone help. And someone does. So it's pretty good. I think, one of the biggest things is just managing your time and managing social media stuff, because that's so important nowadays, unfortunately. Which is weird because I just deleted all mine. I just got rid of all mine.
The personal one.
Yeah, that's just the business stuff we keep that up and running, but my stuff I keep that to myself. But that's fine. Just watch your time, because time is very limited. You know, there's only so much of it, so many hours in the day. But it'll fly by when you're having fun. So you'll be at the end of the day, you'll be fine. Not too much to worry about.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out to enjoy a really good smelling cup of coffee and answering some what might have seemed like random questions.
Nah, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
About your life and your career and the experiences that got you to where you are today, and also for sharing that advice with our listeners. We all truly appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
So this is it for us for this session. Thank you for joining us for Coffee and an Interview. If you have any questions, you can always email us at info@coffeeandaninterview.com. And again, you'll have an opportunity to share comments via the website, coffeeandaninterview.com, and to listen to this episode again or other episodes. Thank you and have a wonderful day and enjoy that cup of coffee.
Take care, everybody.